من شر وسواس الهماس الذي يوسوس في صدور.
To perform our responsibilities, our duties, to the best of our ability. We thank you, Lord, because we know you've answered. For in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you. Please call the witness.
Good morning, Mr. Witness. You can kindly take your seat. Mr. Bojang, can you help him?
Very well. Sisi, ñu ngi la dookale ñu naka suba si waxal si mic bi.
Mr. Witness, for continuation of your testimony before this Commission of Inquiry into Local Government Councils and related matters, I want to remind you once again that you are still under oath before I hand you over to Madam Chair for us to proceed.
Then belegi de benam bir mi la rek. Wala bala mu jox la ko bala mu jox la ci commission bi li nga wara fatale ko moy dem bi nga ñewon fi da nga waton sa loxo ga ekati yon homo. Dena lolu mo nek ci yow be legi so soy wax nga bayel ne da nga waton. Very well.
Thank you. Over to you, Madam Chair.
Good morning, Mr. Sise.
Sise, na ñu ne naka suba si waxal si machine bi ñu dégg la.
Mr. Sise, please speak into the mic so that we can hear you.
Nee na sooy wax nga wax ci kaw nga wax si mic bi pour ñu dégg la dégg nga.
Let me repeat what I said. I said good morning.
Mu ne naka suba si.
You are welcome.
Sant Yàlla.
waaw mu ne ñu ngi laa ndokkale dégg nga.
Dëgg jërëjëf.
Very well.
Council, we may proceed.
Good morning. So we were discussing the issue of the double payments yesterday.
nee naa fii balaa ñu tasaaru dem ba soo fàttale ko nu ñu nekkoon di wax mooy affaire fay bi nga xam ne dañ ko defoon ñaari yoon.
The two payments were made or raised on the 14th, 11th of June 2019.
nee naa weeri June bu mu amee fukki fan ak benn 2019.
For the amount of $480,000.
nee naa fay bi bu njëkk bi mooy $480,000.
Now the first voucher I have here.
nena voucher bu ñëk bi nga xamne bobu la amé ni ci loxom
is the voucher number PV19
nena number bi numéro bi moy PV19
02
02 45
and the second one
nena ñaarel bi
is PV19
moy PV19
02
46
Now, with respect to the first voucher 45,
nena suñ démé ci first voucher bi moy 45
you have a letter of appreciation
nena fofu dañ la bindal letter bi nga xamne pour dokki la ne li nga defon def len ñu la comme ñu la ndokal
from Baba Jabi.
te ko ko bindé moy ku ñoy wax Baba Jabi.
Do you know Baba Jabi?
nena ba xam nga ku ñoy wax Baba Jabi?
Baba Jabi. De xamo.
No, I don't know him.
He is the councillor for Fajikunda ward.
Nena koku moy councillor Fajikunda ward.
He wrote a letter and let me read.
Nena letter bi moko bind te legi lu moy def moy dafa jang letter bi pour nga dégg cadre yu fa nekk.
It is addressed to the CEO of Carnifil Municipal Council.
Nena daf ko bind mu address ko CEO Carnifil Municipal Council.
I write to thank you and appreciate the road rehabilitation that took place in Fajikunda.
Nena mu la bindal dila jërem dila dokalé ci mbir yoon bi nga xamné liggéey ngeen ko ci biir Fajikunda.
The work had been done and I am so happy about it.
Nena liggéey bu def ngeen ko te mom kontaan na ci kaw liggéey bi.
And the community of Fajikunda were also happy about the job.
Nena te mbolo mi Fajikunda lu ñëw community ñoo yépp ab tamit dañ kontaan ci liggéey bi.
We thank the director of planning and her team for the job well done.
Nena ñu ngi gërëm director of planning ak nit ñi ami liggéey bi nga xamné bu baax bi nga xamné def nañ ko.
Now this is a confirmation.
Nena li letter bi nga xamné continuation la
From the ward councillor
ci ward councillor bi Baba.
with respect to the job done at Fajikunda,
Moy liggéey bi nga xamné def ngeen ko wala liggéey bi nga xamné dafa xewi Fajikunda.
which you were paid $480,000 for.
Bi nga xamné dañ la fayon $480,000.
Now, the voucher itself
Nena voucher bi ci bopam
says that your grader, water browser and ruler
nena wax na ne sa grader bi sa water browser bi ak ruler bi
were hired for the 19 ward roads, particularly Ibo Town.
nena yoyu dañ ko luwaase ci kaw ay ward yo xamne dem na be fukki ward ak juroom ñeneen.
Ibo Town,
su ñoy limal ñu door Ibo Town,
Talinding South,
South
and Fajikunda ward.
ak Fajikunda ward.
Do you recall this?
Nena mba fatale ko ngali?
Fatale ko nako.
Yes, I fully remember.
The second voucher as well
Nena ñaaral voucher bi tamit
says the same thing.
yépp benn cadre bi la rek.
It says being hiring of grader,
Nena wax na ne luwaase bi nga xam ne luwaas nañ ko grader bi
water browser,
ak water voucher bi
and roller for 6 days of compacting gravel on the identified 19 wards.
juróom benn dañ ko luwaase pour juróom benn fan lu taxawoon mooy pour liggéey yoon bi nga xam ne xeer yi nga xam ne dañ ko defoon si yoon boobu.
Particularly Ibo Town,
mooy Ibo Town,
Talinding South,
South
Fajikunda ward.
ak Fajikunda ward.
Yes. So, why would you have two payments for the same job?
nee na lan moo tax ñu fay la ñaari yoon si benn liggéey bi.
Anyway, mënuma fatale ko lolu de. Dama fa liggéey different la am, nekkul benn liggéey.
I cannot remember that. I have different type of contracts or job.
Mais benn bi dafa build dose di 8 benn bi boko xolé bu baax dama fogg ne amna different.
ma dégg la.
Naam.
da nga wax ci kaw ñu dégg la because mu nga dégg du ma mëna wax.
Mom la ma liggéey bobu mënuma ko fatale ko.
I cannot remember that job.
Because dama fa ne nekkul di same liggéey bi la amna different tuuti.
Because I think they are not the same, they have differences.
Yeah.
If they are different, it would have been one contract and you would have been paid for the entire job.
Nena so su nekkee dañu utee sax nena waaye soo seetee contrat bi moom benn la te dañ la fayoon yëpp pour liggéey boobu yëpp la fee bi mooy pour liggéey bi yëpp mooy benn contrat.
It is all in relation to the road, either construction or leveling, however you call it.
Nena ndaa pour sampal yoon bi wala pour dal di ko level mooy feesal ay pay yi.
Xam naa waaye loolu ki ko bind moo ko mën a fàttali ko.
I cannot remember unless the guy who wrote it might remember.
And both payments are for the hiring of grader, water browser, and roller.
nena ye pour luwase water doza rula bi ak
and the period is 6 days.
nena te juróom benn fan
And it's for the 19 wards.
nena pour fukk ak juróom ñaar ñeneenti wards
And both vouchers were raised the same day.
nena waaye boobu soo ko seetee benn bi la benn liggéey bi la
That tells you it's the same job.
nena loolu lu mu wone mooy benn affaire la rek benn liggéey bi la rek
definitely mënuma fàttaliku loolu.
I cannot remember
The other thing
nena beneen affaire mooy
is you have a job confirmation for the first voucher
nena am nga liggéey bi nga xam ne dañ ko wone foofu si first voucher bi
to suggest that the work done was completed.
bi nga xam ne wone na ne liggéey bi nga xam ne def nga ko da nga ko jeexal
There is no confirmation with respect to the second voucher.
nena waaye ñaareel voucher bi boobu amul confirmation boobu wone dara de
What do you say about that?
nena loo am pour wax si loolu
bilaay xamu si dara yàlla xam na ko.
I
mënuma ko fàttaliku.
I cannot remember. I have no idea.
Now, how can we help the Commission to have information regarding why you received 2 payments for the same job?
nena léegi lu mu jëna bëgg pour nga leeral ñu mooy nga jàppale commission bi pour yëgal leen naka la demee woon wala lana taxoon nga daal di am ñaari fay si benn contrat.
li ma jaaxal daal.
My doubt is
mooy loolu.
is that
ki doon binda ñuy fay moo si mën a xam lu bëri.
the author of the said letter, because I know very less.
because man du war a dem KMC sax yàlla xam na ko.
Sometimes, as I said, I was not even going to KMC. God knows.
ñu wax Seka moo daan binda.
It was Seka who was writing.
Who is Seka?
Nena kan mooy Seka?
Seka su ma leeroon liggéey mu ngi fi.
My employee is here.
Can you, if we give you time to come back, will you be able to come back with Seka?
Nena léegi lu ñuy laajte mooy. suñ demee ba jox la waxtu. pour nga delloo. nena mbaa sooy ñëwaat da nga mun a àndaa Seka fii.
We can ask that the Commission grant that you be given copies of the vouchers.
nena léegi li ñu bëgg a mooy pour commission bi ñu jox la copie voucher yi.
ok.
Is that fair enough?
nena loolu moom noo ko gisee.
waaw bëgg naa ko.
Very well.
Very well. Are there any questions for this witness? Chair?
No, we don't have questions.
That's all for this witness. We will ask that the witness be discharged. We will call him back. The registrar will give him a date.
Mr. Sise, we will discharge you for now, and we will avail you the payment vouchers for you to verify with your employee, and we will let you know when you will come back.
nena léegi am lu ñoo def mooy. dañ lay baalal ngum wala bàyyi la ngum nga dem. nena waaye balaa nga dem tamit voucher yi nekk fii nañ la ko jox. pour nga gis ne nga mën a toog yow sa diggante ak Sega ngeen mun a ko rek mu waree. waaw léegi ngeen déglu ñu.
waaw baax
waxtu bu ñu xam ne dañ leen soxla dañ leen owaat pour ngeen ñëwaat.
waaw baax na.
Very well.
waaw baax na.
So thank you so much.
mun a jërëjëf waaye.
thank you.
You are discharged.
nee na fu mu ne nii alhamdulilah mën ngaa dem.
thank you. hard copy bi fële.
Can you kindly call the next
Okay.
witness, please?
Mr. Witness, may you kindly take your seat. Mr. Witness, for continuation of your testimony, once again, I want to remind you that you are still on the oath before I hand you over to Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you. Madam Chair, I hand over the witness to you for us to proceed.
Good morning, Mr. Cham.
Good morning.
You are welcome back.
Thank you.
Thank you. Council, can you proceed, please?
Yes. Mr. Chairman, we are calling you in relation to payments made to Lankara Musuare and Sons, AMCC, Enterprise, and Dan Mustafa Kanyi. That would be Kanjura, correct?
Okay.
So let's start with Lankara Musuare. I will give you a set of vouchers. Please go through them and confirm whether that will be your time and whether you can identify your signature, if any.
It's Jill Life Music.
That is the way. That is the way. Medok di xaar góor defal li la war ñefe ji la ka njëriñoo soo bañee ele ku la yabloo waaye toog ci kër gi di sonna yaay ak baay takk jabar sa yaay ak baay ñoo ko yor dundin bi tar ñëpp demer kër gi moo jeexal na soxna si dafa mar darul xool be mu raw laay tekki fii man na ne liggéeyil doom ñu dafay jàngi ji liggéey man na am that is the way ñu dafay jàngi ji liggéey man na am that is the way am naa ne tukki baax naay waaye foo jëm man nga faa tekkee li ma leer ba leer mooy amul góor amul jigéen liggéey ñépp la war bu ci ragal bu ci xalaatee that is the way góor da ngay jàngi ji liggéey mën a am that is the
Chair, just to confirm, how many persons do we have all together? Yes. So 10 is the number that he signed. The other 4 were signed by his deputy, but they are all within, he had confirmed, he can confirm again whether they are all within the period he was acting as the acting CEO. Confirmed that, yes. So the 10 is, he signed it, the other 4, he did not, but Cham was the acting CEO.
The following 14 vouchers are admitted as follows. The payment voucher dated the 17th of April 2019 with payment voucher number 182096. The payment voucher dated the let me just take this. Let me take it again. A payment voucher dated the 17th of April 2019 with payment voucher number 182096. A payment voucher dated the 15th of October 2019 with voucher number PV190804. Payment voucher dated the 15th of November 2018 with PV number PV181295. Payment voucher dated the 8th of November 2018 with voucher number PV181255. A payment voucher dated the 17th of July 2019 with voucher number PV190444, that is 444. A payment voucher dated the 5th of July 2019 with voucher number PV190363. A payment voucher dated the 31st of December 2019 with voucher number PV191152. A payment voucher dated the 29th of November 2019 with voucher number PV191030. A payment voucher dated 31st of December 2019 with voucher number PV191153. A payment voucher dated the 27th of January 2020 with voucher number PV200141. A payment voucher dated the 13th of January 2020 with PV number 200059. A payment voucher dated the 6th of January 2020 with PV number PV200019. Payment voucher dated the 12th of February 2020 with voucher number PV200241. A payment voucher dated the 5th of July 2019 with voucher number PV190366. And the last document in this bundle is a memo dated the 13th of November 2018. It emanated from the Manager, Environment and Sanitation, UFS, Director of Services. It is addressed to the Chief Executive Officer and copied to the Lord Mayor and file. And it has reference KMC/ES/401, and it has subject job certification report. It is signed by Lamin M. Wali. These documents are admitted in a bundle as exhibit in evidence, and they are marked as LGC/JC/KMC/013.
As a commission, please. Before we go through those vouchers, Mr. Chairman, what is the process in relation to awarding someone a contract or a contractor a contract and the payment procedures?
Well, for the award and the payment of those contracts, mostly there are various units and departments that guide the CEO in this process.
Yes.
Key among them is the requesting unit or department.
Yes.
So they will forward this request to CEO's office, who see the need that this work need to be done, and the request is endorsed. Then it goes back to the administration and procurement to look at their procurement list if they have any of those vendors in their list. So they work with the requesting department. The CEO has no idea about which vendor should do this job and how to collect quotations. So quotations are collected by the procurement and they are independent. The CEO has no interference. What CEO does is to make sure that the procurement identified the eligible and required competent individual who can do the job for value for money. Yes. So this is, and they sign first, the procurement signs first and bring all these LPOs to the CEO's office for approval. So sometimes as a CEO, I don't even look at who are they giving this work to. I don't look at who they are because to me, I just want them to be independent. I don't want to know the contractors. So we approve, the CEO approves. So from that level, it goes back to finance. The finance also has a role to make sure that they work with procurement to make sure that things are in line and they do the required narration. From there, it goes to audit. The audit looks at it. So the CEO as itself, if these people made errors, the CEO is highly likely to be vulnerable to that. But they are the technician that the CEO is highly dependent on. So this is how it happens. So if it requires the contract committee, the CEO also requires the procurement to recommend that CEO, this has to go to the committee. Because the CEO's engagement is not only on procurement, but other strategic thinking, policy planning, and also other activities. So this is how we do it.
Now, we will come to the payment part later.
Yes.
Now, for the audit of contracts, you've explained the process. So, what would be referred to the contracts committee? Are there procurement that would be referred to the contracts committee? And are there other type of procurements that would not necessarily be referred to the contracts committee?
Exactly, yes. So mostly, you know, the culture at KMC was when the threshold of 500,000, things that are above the threshold, it of course the contract committee is forwarded to them to sit on it, and in fact this is even obtained by the advice of the procurement. So the procurement has to advise CEO, this you cannot do this without the committee, and the CEO also have to, and whether it has to be tendered or if at all it is within the line of the procurement that procurements are, these issues cannot go to contract committee. They do all their transactions. They contact the servicemen, service provider, the contractors. They collect all the invoices and process and bring it. So sometimes you might not even know what they've brought. They just brought that this should be paid. So the assumption is, if you are not careful, there are certain things that can pass through without your knowledge. But there are certain things that you can see and say, no, this cannot fly. So it depending on the type of work. So you will see the area council's procurement are different from other procurement because there are certain businesses, there are certain works. They don't have many players in that. For example, when it comes to cleaning an environment or dump site dressing, you know, not many. That sector is not that big where you have many players. So that still depends on the procurement. So because the procurement also are guided by their list of vendors. So the assumption at the CEO said the procurement needs to know better.
Now you were saying that anything below 500,000, they process and it comes to you as CEO.
Exactly.
And then what you just need to find out as CEO is that they have followed the process. So if there are any irregularity at the time of at the procurement level, you may not detect it. You've explained it. And that makes sense a lot. But now, why do you have that distinction? Why do you have at the level of the area council that below 500,000 it goes to the CEO directly? Is that a practice or is that a law?
So that's where the problem is, because we must understand we are human. So if you are given certain responsibilities, you learn the process. So before you will see, for me, my span is 1 year, 4 months. So you will see virtually the first 6 months, you are learning and practicing because you have never handled the process. You are human. So, but you will sometimes make reference to your predecessors. So, if your predecessor also is wrong, you are highly likely not to get it 100%. So, with the process, so that was the culture that was in KMC since time immemorial. All the mayors, all the CEOs that were there, all the procurement, all the directors of finance, that was happening. So, I don't know, it could be law, it could also be a culture, or the kind of the organizational culture that was going on. So, but before, that's why for now, during that time, we cannot differentiate. But and still, that also was under the advice, but from the procurement office, because we expect the procurement office to make sure that they liaise with the national procurement office.
Yes.
Because we also send them to training. So we expect that they are, and they are also the custodian of the procurement guidelines.
Yes.
So they should also advise, because if they do right, the CEO will do right, the CEO also will do right. So the culture of 500,000, that was what we met.
Okay.
And
yes, I asked that question because it appears to be more of a culture than a legally sanctioned procedure. Because if you look at the role of the contracts committee, it is to make procurement decisions, and so the procurement decisions, the procurement unit or the specialized procurement unit, like you said, of course they need to be independent, but then they also sit at the level of the contracts committee to advise the contracts committee, which the CEO or any CEO will be the head of. And if you look at, just for instance, if you go to the 2022 Act, it tells you the establishment of the contracts committee. And the contracts committee shall be established in every procuring organization in the Gambia, supported by specialized procurement units, to be established in the organization, and procuring organizations with low levels of procurement may jointly establish a shared procurement. Now, the composition of the contracts committee shall be in accordance with section 74 of the Act, which talks about the contracts committee shall be staffed with personnel who are well informed concerning public procurement and whose professional qualifications meet the requirements that may be established by the head of the procuring organization. The head of the procuring organization would be the CEO at the time. And the head of the procuring organization or head of the accounting unit, or where there is no designated accounting officer or his or her representative, shall chair the contracts committee. Now it goes on to say its functions. 175.1. The functions of contracts committee shall include verification of proper procurement planning and availability of funds, approval of the invitation to bid and bidding documents, approval of the use of single source procurement in accordance with the regulations, the opening of bids, comparing and evaluating the bids and selecting the winning bid, submitting the recommendations resulting from the evaluation of bids to the accounting officer of the procurement organization concerned with all other officials designated in the regulation. So you go back to 73, it tells you its establishment. And if you go to sub 3, it says procuring organization is responsible, and accounting officers and other officials concerned are accountable for public procurement in accordance with this Act and regulations issued pursuant to the Act and other applicable laws. 4 says the accounting officer, there is no designated accounting officer, shall appoint the head of the procurement unit, shall appoint the head of the procurement unit or any senior staff member of the organization to act as secretary to the contracts committee. Now the secretary of the contracts committee shall take minutes of the contract. 6, a contracts committee may delegate to a specialized procurement authority to make contract award decisions, subject to such decisions being subsequently reported to and recorded in the minutes of the contracts committee. Delegation of the authority shall be expressed in terms of estimate maximum contracts value. So you see, that's why I asked whether it was a norm that you found, which you've explained, or decisions were based on the law, because the law had said that the units would operate. They will be, of course, independent, but they are subject to the contracts committee, who would make recommendations and forward it to the head of the procurement unit organization, that is the CEO for the time being. So not to go directly from the procuring unit to the CEO directly. I don't know whether we are understanding.
I understand.
Yes, so I understand when you say it's more of a culture. But now, even the records of procurement, by even single sourcing, the contracts committee will have to sanction it. They have to approve the single sourcing procurement. And every month, there should be monthly returns to GPPA.
Exactly. So the culture for 500,000 ceiling was resolved by the council.
Yes.
That the CEO at this level and his staff cannot go beyond that. It has come to council,
yes,
and that can be reported by the contracts committee.
Yes.
Before it goes to GPPA for final approval.
Yes.
So you will see that the procurement have the list. And constantly, we do not only do procurement directly, but they are doing constant, sometimes they get the guidance and advice before going ahead. So this culture has been going and going, and then we feel that we have a resolution back in the CEO not to go to this limit. That's why you see certain, and they themselves will do even the splitting. Yes. Because but if they have advised the CEO, because the CEO have all these tools available to him. He has the contract committee, he has the finance, he has the GPPA. Why paying a supplier who is getting the money, the CEO is not getting the and they get it free? No CEO will do that. So the powerhouse, the technical advisory unit that was created for that purpose, for procurement to guide, and also the audit to flag when they even see things that are not in line. We also expect audit to know the procurement.
True.
So if things fly, then there's a problem somewhere. Absolutely. So that's where the vulnerability is. Yes. So that's why there are certain procurement. We take blame for it but we do not talk to suppliers. We don't collect quotations. We don't bring it. We don't even know them. If you ask most of these suppliers, they say they don't know the CEO. They don't even have time to sit with the CEO.
Yes, that had been said by one or two suppliers. So, for instance, the audit, they should flag some of this as well.
Correct.
That's why we have all these oversight functions. But the claim that the audit department is making before the commission is that they were really handicapped, that the council does not really help the audit in relation to the tools that they need. They don't even have a vehicle. So they are saying that they don't even work within the main yard, within the headquarters of the council. They are stationed at the annex for a very long period of time. They don't have vehicle or fuel to even perform their function. So if that is the situation, which you can confirm here, whether that is the situation or at a time, or when it changed at any period, do you think they would have been in a position to perform their functions?
You see, I'm not a seasoned accountant or auditor, but I know there are certain works, 50% of what you do is in your office to look at the document, verify them.
Yes.
If you have problem with it, write about it.
Yes.
Or you walk to the CEO's office and complain.
Yes.
If it is not heeded, write your memo to the CEO.
Yes.
So, but if you have a problem in going to the field today, because there is no vehicle available, that doesn't mean that the entire 365 days, you do not have a vehicle. So the council, we are not a council that have a problem of vehicle. We have a vehicle. We also have fuel.
Do you think that they should have a vehicle and fuel allocation to perform their functions?
Of course, I believe that.
Were there periods where they were not having these necessary tools?
In fact, the director of the department have a vehicle like any other land director, and is being given weekly fuel allocations. Yes. All department heads, including audit department, have a vehicle assigned to the head of the department. So if there is no vehicle, if there are vehicle concerns, the head of the department vehicle is there. Then I think if the head of the department want to do justice to work, he will just give this driver and his team to go to the ground.
All right. So what is the rationale in having internal audit in station at the annex as opposed to the main the main building, the headquarters of the area council, where they would, on a daily basis, when payments are being made, they will be more accessible, and then they can do their verification easily. What is the rationale?
Maybe they say that out of fear factor, but the reality is the audit office is close to the director of finance office in the main office. Just for operational efficiency. That is best practice. Where all line departments that work are related, they come together, they are not fly each other, so that the movement of people and work becomes easy and smooth.
Yes.
So there was a only time when they were moved to multi-purpose, because due to maintenance, this was just temporary. It was temporary, and they were back.
How long was that?
This was during my time. I did not meet that one there, but I think I remember they were moved to our multipurpose center due to maintenance, and when that is completed, they came back. And in fact, the door of the audit department and the finance are the same. Even today, they always ask for more space.
Was finance moved?
Finance was never moved.
So probably they would have moved another department, but probably much more realistic.
And even the period they were moved to the multipurpose, because to do justice, because we cannot finally award gift check without audit verification. So it will halt our business. So we make sure that the vehicle goes every day. All vouchers that have been processed are sent to them by a vehicle, and we wait for them until they come back. It finally. So that means taking them far without a vehicle, in fact, will even affect council more than them.
Yes, but you may not work directly with audit as CEO.
Exactly.
Directly. You may not.
Exactly.
Because your first line of communication is the finance director.
Yes.
But the finance director may not necessarily want to work with audit.
That could be possible.
Yes.
Yes.
They may not necessarily want to work with audit. And then where you have that, before you reach the CEO, they would not probably have certain access to certain information. That is also a fact.
You are right. You are right. But there is one other thing that is there. The internal audit reports directly to the council.
Yes.
And that is the degree of independence they have.
Yes.
So, and they attend council meetings every month.
Yes.
They can lodge this complaint at the general council, because the council always assured them that you will give anybody who deny you access to information is not prepared to cooperate. This is the most dangerous thing.
Now.
So they never complain that in any of the council proceedings. Now. And they never complain that to the CEO's office, either in writing or verbally, during my time.
Yes.
I don't know about the other times.
The other times.
Yes.
Now, we know that the internal audit at some point was not functional. That's a fact. And at some point, the director had to be removed. And the issue is that he admitted in council that he doesn't have the capacity to man the office. And then the council's concerns where you are not coming forward with your quarterly reports. But we see, in as much as that is true, and we agree with council, we question the motive. I mean, the lawyers. We question the motive, because if the motive is to get the facts out, to get the reports and act on them, and the director of internal audit has been removed based on incompetence, let me say, but you have subsequent reports, internal audit reports that were never acted upon, at least 98%. So would that not be contradictory?
You see, the time I took over, because we feel we will be blind walking without audit.
Yes.
Because the expectation is there to guide us.
Yes.
We might not be on the same mindset.
Yes.
But where an audit office,
yes,
because audit they do two purposes. That's why they are internal. Where did the CEO suspect or get information that there are some irregularity going, or the director also, they are always called and say, please help us find this.
Yes.
This is different from their activity plan.
Yes.
They have their own activity plan, but they also have tips where they go in. Because at the end of the day, this all comes to the CEO and the council.
Yes.
Because but the way they organize themselves, I think I was thinking it was knowledge gap, because when the audit director was not there, the establishment committee, comprising myself, made several visits to the ministry. They can attest to. went to the ministry to make sure that we need a director of audit. In fact, the current director of audit that is there is because of the council's effort.
Yes.
So, but the thing is, they could, the truth and the facts are different, because they might come here and adjust their report and say we are doing monthly. But at the end of the day, you should guide the council.
Yes.
So, but that was not coming.
No, you're right, Mr. Cham. You're right. That's why we call you, or we call any other person that's involved in this. The issue is, if everyone was that, if you do not do your job as internal audit, we want to know why. Do you understand that? That would not drop away the fact that your job was not done properly, but we want to know why. That's why I had said earlier that when the council resoluted that the director of finance was not very competent, doesn't have the capacity, I agree. I don't question that. But in fact, I think that people who are not qualified, who are less qualified, should not hold public office if they don't meet the qualifications, because they have been paid taxpayers' money. Is that not the case?
That's the case.
That's the opinion of the share.
I agree.
Exactly. So we agreed with council on that part. Now, but if the reason is you don't have capacity because we don't get the internal audit reports, now when you get them, you must act on them.
We act.
Correct?
In fact, we act.
Yes.
Most of their reports that they, it's not some, I will not call them, they are quarterly or monthly,
yes,
because they are based on what they call, they happen just spontaneously when there is a problem. Yes. They are assigned to look into it and come back to the council. So 90% of what they brought at the time, yes, we are acted upon. In fact, when it comes to staff matters, when it comes to fraud, if you look at the history of KMC, during my time, there are a lot of staff have been dismissed. We have a lot of cases that we went to the ombudsman, I personally, yes, sitting on staff that we have problem with when it comes to fraud, when it comes to malpractice. I go there frequently because I cannot send somebody to represent. I will have to go with the HR, sit with the ombudsman, yes, and explain rationale. There are areas where we are okay, then that's gone. That's where we are wrong. We compensate those people and, yes, bring them back to work. So this has been happening. True, absolutely true. But what's the number? What's the ratio? We need to have the list of the people that were dismissed, for what they were dismissed for. If you look at the ratio, it becomes insignificant. It is not whether it happened, whether your time you may have acted on 2 or 3 occasions, on 3 or 4 occasions to address issues, but if the number is so insignificant, then it appears as if nothing is done. For instance, if it's over 100% and you have 10%, that would not be a satisfactory number. Do you know what I was saying? So let's just check some of the things that we are discussing now. I had the former deputy mayor, Musa, is it Musa Bah? Correct. Yes, he testified yesterday. Were you acting CEO at any point when he was when he resigned? No, after. But after he was a deputy mayor when I was acting CEO. Acting CEO. But when he resigned, I was not. Exactly. I was not. But Musaba had an issue with respect to allegations of fraud. The same period that you have Cerebral Martins have with the issue with respect to the allegation of fraud. The two were dealt separately. Yeah, for instance, I had told Musaba here, he was never suspended. In fact, the story initially was that he lost his mother, so he resigned. But that was not true, because the allegations at the time were that he was demanding money from contractors. And everyone heard about the audio. You heard about the audio. Yeah, I heard about it, but yes, I didn't listen to it, but I was there in person. Yes, you heard about it. I heard about it. About allegations. Yes. But how was it dealt with? You look at Cerebral Martin Sonko. How was it dealt with? 2 issues of fraud allegations. They are both allegations. No one is saying it's true or not. Only a competent authority can determine that. But do you deal with these two the same? And these are the problems that we are concerned with. Do you understand that? Do you understand? Yes, I do. So let me get the records again. What period did you serve as acting CEO? That was from October 2018 to March 2020. 2020? Yes, March, around the early March.
And then you bounced back as acting at any point in 2021, no?
No, I remain as Director of Administration.
When Senabu,
I handed over to Senabu.
you handed over to Senabu.
Because I went with Senabu for that interview for the position of CEO.
But you never reassumed the office of acting CEO at any point in time after 2020?
No, once, only once.
Only once?
Yes.
So we have...
Only now that I'm also acting CEO, but not this in council.
You are acting CEO now?
Currently, yes.
Where is the CEO? He traveled?
No, I think I discussed something with someone.
Oh, yes.
At Janjambure.
Oh, yes. Correct. For instance, we have the internal audit report for the period 2020. It is a memo from the internal audit team addressed to the CEO that talks about some of the findings of the internal auditor. So I'll just highlight that so you can just confirm. It's already admitted into evidence as an exhibit. We also have the internal audit report addressed to the Director of Finance and Chief Executive Officer is copied. Is for the period 1st April to 30th of June 2020. You would have been the acting CEO by this time.
March. I left the office in March.
In March?
Early March. That was first week.
You left the office in March 2020?
Yeah, 2020, for around first week of March.
So it would be any report in 2018?
Yeah, that would have been the attention of Zainab, my successor there.
2019?
2019, I was in office.
So the end of year cash book closing inspection as at 31st December 2018 would have been your period?
Correct. Yeah, 20 years. End of year for 20. The audit period for 2019, the whole of 2019 would have been my period for that year, particular year. Because before 2018, it was almost the end of the year. That was October. So virtually there was 2 months before the end of 2018. And I also left the second month of the following year.
You also left
the office 2 months to the new year. So
yes.
Virtually I served only 1 year, 4 months. So it does not substantially coincide with receiving an audit report at the time.
Yes, so that's true. So let me show you this this exhibit, this LGC/BN/KMC/005. We have the report dated 2019. It says end of year cash book closing inspection as at 31st December 2018, and we also have the internal audit exercise for the period January to February 2020. So you can confirm whether any of these two would be within in the period you served as acting CEO.
Okay, the first one, yes. The way it is dated 16th of September 2019.
Yes.
The audit period covered it covered 1st of January, yes. 2018 up to 16th of September 2018.
Well, yes.
So I took in October.
You took over
in October.
October 2018.
Yes.
So that would not be within your time.
That yes.
The second one.
The second one also is It's an internal audit exercise for the period 1st January 2014, 1st January to 14th February 2020.
Was that the time as well?
14th February. So I left in March, first week of March.
So this is the period you were acting?
Yes, it was my period, but I was not given this because it was February they concluded this. Okay. Maybe there could have been their administrative teaching before they finalized to the CEO's
but
test.
But at the time,
it covers the.
As at the time, it was really
yes,
printed and sent to the office. You were no longer acting CEO.
Yes,
but you were working for council.
But yes, the period, yes, exactly.
Let me have it. You were working for council in what capacity?
I beg your pardon?
You were working in council in what capacity when you left?
As director of admin.
Director of admin. Yes. Do you know whether that internal audit report at any point in time was discussed at either senior management meeting or at the council level?
No, it was not. I could not remember that.
But do you know why?
Probably my successor might know, or the audit themselves, because the head of the audit department is a management member.
Yes.
So.
But it's addressed to your successor, the CEO, at the time. The address was from the entire audit team to acting chief executive officer at the time.
Okay, so
the date is 14th of February 2020. You were there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I was there the 14th of February. I left in the first week of March.
Yes.
So 14th February to March. So somebody can conclude his report before he distributes it. The 2 weeks can go. So secondly, the normal protocol, the best practice for this matter is the audits should have sent this to the council. Yes. They should have addressed directly to the council and copy the CEO.
They have been doing that.
Yes.
They have been addressing to council, and they have been through the office of the Lord Mayor.
Yes.
And they have been addressing to the CEO. My point is, even if they address to the CEO should.
Yes, there should have been also a management response, because if you conclude an exercise, you made a certain observations, and you grade them based on the risk factors. The management should have come in to respond.
Exactly.
Before the whole report is finalized.
Exactly.
So this did not meet me in the office.
We also have the entire audit exercise for the period 1st January to 30th March 2020. So part of it would have been also your time as
the CEO. Yes, that's correct.
You understand that? So for all this, for that one too as well, copies were sent to the office of the CEO. So my point is, you left subsequently, but even whilst you were director of admin or acting, you never left the council. You were still within council.
That's correct.
Have you, at any point in time, had cause to witness the discussion of internal audit reports at the level of senior management?
No.
No. And council meetings as well? No.
Because I'm secretary to the management.
Yes.
So I work with the team for even the agenda.
Yes.
I record the minutes and distribute them.
Yes.
So at no point in time that I remember taking this.
So if the CEO is to receive internal audit reports from internal audit unit, should they not bring that up at your SMT?
Yeah, the CEO is first required to bring this. It's on both sides, both the department head of audit and also the CEO himself.
Yes.
Because if he observe anything, if at all if it's serious and they need immediate attention, even the time of they are preparing for what they call looking at some of the queries before the report is finalized, the CEO is obliged to make sure that even certain movement happen, certain people can even start getting their suspension, and certain people can even be on hold and before things are final because they have been mentioned. But this has not been reported.
They have not been forwarded.
It has not been discussed at the management.
Exactly. And who sits at the management meeting?
Of course, all the line directors, including the mayor and the deputy mayor.
So.
Including the audit department director. Yeah, but at the time, there was no, this period, there was no director.
Yes.
So the assistant was overseeing, though he has not been written to work as acting director, but because he did not get the the required qualifications,
Yes.
but he was seen as audit. That's why the council was at the time even afraid, because we cannot wait for an auditor. We cannot say we will wait until we have a competent person to do our process. So we were working, but we are working with the fear. So what we were also been trying to be careful to make sure that we get things right, and also get the director of audit to work
But there's
with.
someone that is overseeing. The one that you had, well, doesn't have the capacity.
Yeah, because you see, the reality is today, if you speak what is right, some people see it differently.
Yes.
Because that's why it will be difficult now to people to talk what is right, because there will be consequences of what you do. For example, if at all you are busy on what all the salary payment, there are issues when it comes to salary. It is even some staff or HR or CEO that sees that how can you pay, or somebody is on leave or is suspended, you still have on the payroll. You pay in full month. It goes from payroll, it goes to audit, it comes back to CEO. You cannot detect that. Or finance can detect that. Then there's a problem. Sometimes finance detect that. Sometimes CEO detects that. With all his busy schedules, then there's a problem. So once there's a problem, that question mark is still there. So that was what is the problem. Because if you, the culture now, because we always say it, the director of finance is supposed to every morning advise the CEO. Likewise, the audit, if you cannot do it every day, but every week, you are supposed to brief both the mayor and the CEO. But most of what we do, they are overtaken by events. They don't act until people themselves have a suspicion that something, and it's blatant, it's clear. So there is what they call knowledge gap, because sometimes you report a case, but you cannot come with facts to substantiate the truth.
Now, no, go ahead, please.
Because the fact is, when we know that things are not going right, we report the matter to them. You cannot add the dots to make sure that this is where the problem is. We are still in a problem. This is what has been happening in our audit.
But did you write? Did you write and follow the process? Who should appoint the internal? Who should make sure the internal department is well staffed? Whose responsibility is it?
Of course, it is the CEO's responsibility. That's why the fact for getting him on board was discussed at the establishment committee, at the management, and letters have been sent to the ministry.
Do you have copies of those letters? They were sent to ministry to
Yes,
revamp
yes.
and adequate staff the Office of the Internal Audit Department?
Of course, we have letter more so on the director of audits, and we don't only write, we wrote and write again, and also take the whole committee, including myself, to sit with the ministry on this matter, to show that the urgency of this.
Can you provide us with those letters?
Yes, I'll try. I'll try my best.
Please write that down.
Yes.
You will need to provide us with that, with those documents. Now, Mr.
Council, I have a question. Mr. Cham, you have told the Commission that you had written authorization as to the ceiling of the CEO. Was it via a resolution or?
Yeah, it was resolved not in my time, but it was resolved in those days.
Yes.
Time before, during the time of former Yankuba Koli, and before that, the CEO cannot spend more than 500,000.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Without even the council, because at the time, also councils are always being challenged by budgetary constraints. So they have to know what is happening, and each payments, when it's going, they should know. So that led to them to come up with that decision.
Yes. Based on that inherited understanding, I'm asking this question pursuant to what is contained in section 305 of the financial manual, which is at page 19 of the financial manual. Can you please give Mr. Cham the financial manual to open at page 19?
Okay.
Yes. You could see that in section 305, it has indicated that it is council that will approve the threshold for the CEO.
Yes.
And in doing so, when the threshold is approved, there is also a further approval that is granted where, let me read from the second paragraph where it says, as regards the monetary threshold, it should be noted that up to a given amount, the CEO can approve and incur expenditure without reference to the chairman stroke mayor of the council. Up to a certain amount, the CEO is required to consult and seek clearance from the chairman stroke mayor. Beyond a given amount, the CEO is required to refer such expenditure to council to seek for approval. The reason why I'm asking question is pursuant to this paragraph. Mm-hmm. So at what point were you advised that you will refer such approval for the mayor to grant you permission to proceed on expending on that particular threshold?
Yes, at the point when it is even $500,001. If it is $500,001,
yes,
the CEO cannot do that, pay that without taking it to the contract. The contract has to look at it. It has to go to general council. The general council don't only look at even the amount also, but they look at what they call, one, value for money. Two, is it a priority? Three, who are the players? That time they even have to make sure that they invite even the vendors to come and explain and even see whether they can even have a discount before finally done. So naturally, the 500,000 also might depend on the budget size of the council, because some council might have a less. That's why they did not say a specific amount here, because some councils, their budget is big, some are small.
Let me just quickly refer you. What it says is that it says up to a certain amount, the CEO is required to consult and seek clearance.
Yes.
It's for you to consult and seek clearance.
Exactly.
Not to debate the matter at council. Okay. Debating the matter at council is one thing.
Yes,
but seeking clearance from the chairman or the mayor is what is contained in the financial manual.
Exactly.
It's saying you should consult the chairman or the mayor and seek clearance to execute expenditure.
Yes.
And the third one, the last one is, it says beyond a certain amount, the CEO is required to refer such expenditure to council to seek approval. This is where perhaps it is a huge amount.
Yes.
This is what the financial manual is referring to, that for huge amounts of money,
I agree.
You have to refer that to the council for council to debate on that expenditure.
So I agree, because the CEO reports to the mayor every morning or every second day. So during my time, I don't only go there myself. I always take the procurement manager with me when it comes to procurement. I will get the summary. He will go to the details. So that's why when we see problems, they are trying to say CEO is responsible.
Yes, the reason why I'm asking is because expenditures, based on the records, expenditures are made and we cannot see clearance. And when it says clearance, our understanding of what clearance means here is written authorization to say you can proceed to expend.
Yeah, you see, that's the problem of public office. Most of the time people talk, they agree. They can say, okay, you are. But as long as they resolve that 500,000 you cannot bomb, it becomes a resolution. So subsequently, you might not need any further written to go ahead.
No, I'm saying in the event where what you are expending on is more than 500,000.
Exactly. So it can.
Do you normally have written clearances to expend,
No,
to proceed on your expenditure?
no,
You don't have written clearances?
no.
Thank you. I just wanted that clarification.
Thank you.
Councillor, you may proceed.
Yes, Mr. Cham, let me show you the vouchers that we have admitted for Lankaran Bosware. And what I will ask now is when internal audit actually checked the process and then they approve. So, for instance, you have contracted someone or a company or business owner to do a certain job. So in addition to Lankaran Bosware, for instance, to go and clear illegal dump sites or to dress the back of the dump site. How do you determine whether the job is done or not?
Okay, the determination of whether the job is done is based on the job certification.
Job certificate.
So normally the supervisory level of that job and also the department requesting for that piece of work. So they are our eyes and mind on the ground, and they report back to us. And even giving them Lankaramo or AMCC or any other, the CEO don't know these people. They sometimes don't look at who is winning this work.
Maybe you say, you Jaya Cham, you don't know these people.
Yes, Jaja Cham. Yes, Jaja Cham at Jaja Cham's time. We don't know these people.
Exactly. Yes, I believe that. But the issue is, where you don't have a job completion certificate, should payment be done in full?
Then there's a problem.
Then there's a problem.
There's a problem. So that means that either 50% of that jobs to be done, to be paid, upon completion certification has to be, because the procurement, this is their obligation. You cannot engage and re-engage and engage when you know that this kind of supplier or contractor is not competent. In fact, because your people, the requesting department will always complain, and they will always bring similar problems.
For instance, you're talking about issue of competence. We have Lankaran Bosware. I will come back to the job completion certificate. But Lankaran Bosware testified as well. I'm not sure whether you have listened to his testimony. He said he does not have the staff. He operates what they would call a briefcase, a business. He has no machinery as well. All he has, according to him, is his stamp and receipt book or invoice. So they give him contract to hire bulldozers or compactors, you name them, and he goes to suppliers that KMC already know and will hire these compactors from these people. Do you understand? We have AMCC, I believe testified yesterday, and said openly that Lankaran Bosware will come and hire these machines from him, when AMC has been given multiple contracts as well.
You are right. You are right. You see, that's why the procurement should not give us a list that they know, because they are the customer, they are the front desk. We are the back office. The people who work with the public directly should know what they do.
Yes.
So if somebody is working in a restaurant, you want him to be a road construction, and you expect the CEO to know, it will be very difficult.
See, that is why if the contracts committee did not indirectly delegate or relinquish their role to entirely to the procurement unit, you will see that all of these bits, all of these quotations, for instance, RFQ, request for quotation, you have a minimum of 3. So if they receive 3, they would have scrutinized the 3 quotations. They would have known, even at some point, because you are dealing with these known suppliers or contractors on a daily or weekly basis or monthly basis. So they would have known at some point who is who. But because the contracts committee relinquished their power and their role mainly to the procurement unit, maybe that's why you have this issue.
Yeah, exactly. Because we give them the degree of independence with the expectation things will be done. That's why the things that are above the threshold and go to the contract committee. In fact, the management profile of even that company that is we want to award is look into their qualification, their experience, even their location, and even whether there is a third party to them. Because we do not want to bring, we give, you also go and give it, he also go and give it to somebody. So if one of them have a problem, the chain have a problem. So amount less than that.
So where is the fault?
Of course, the fault is when things that are below the threshold that have been processed by procurement with the expectation that they are independent and genuine. That's where the error is.
So we will say that from procurement unit to contracts committee to CEO who sits at the contracts committee, they would all be at fault generally for this procedural lapse.
Well, yeah, but not with the same degree. Not with the same degree.
The degree will be determined by the commissioners.
Yeah, but I'm saying.
But the idea is, if as a contracts committee you negate your responsibilities, you do not perform your function as a contracts committee to vet all these bids that will come. What you do in effect is leave the entire procurement activity in the hands of one person. And that person will determine, that is a procurement unit, whosoever it is there for the time being, would now determine. When we all know what happens in procurement, we all know the game that they play. You go and get 3 quotations from one person. No one vets those quotations. And then if you are just to ratify their actions, and the contracts committee does not sit and evaluate, then there will be endless fraud in procurement.
So that's why we expect this commission to make recommendations that will enhance local governance to the right footing, to give references where people's domain. Because sometimes we are of the belief that today, if I am not happy with my procurement, he will say, Jaja is interfering with my work. I'm bringing things, he's saying, no, let me go and do this. But at the end of the day, I'm back office. I don't deal with suppliers. I don't deal with contractors. All the people that I work with, I don't know some of them. And I never get any dollars from them.
So how a CEO will interfere in procurement lawfully would be through the contracts committee. That's where you have the power. You bring something from the procurement unit or SPU, the idea is you have not followed due process, we are rejecting this. Go back and bring us XYZ. You want to know, mainly as a contracts committee, who are your, especially frequent contractors. You don't leave this into the hands as a contracts committee. I think it would not be proper to leave it into the hands of one unit.
And
do you see where the issue is?
I do.
Yes. Now the other issue is for Lankara Mosware, just pick a voucher there. Tell me whether there's a job completion certificate. Give me the voucher name, the amount paid to him.
For these ones?
Yes. What is the amount paid to Lankara Mosware for that?
This one has a job certification.
Okay. Now I'll go to the next one.
This one also have work confirmation certificate.
It has job certification.
Yes, at the
Go to the
back.
next one. Please give me the 2 on the registrar.
The one is at the back, the one is on top.
Yes?
This one do not have job certification.
It doesn't have it.
Yes.
Okay. How much was paid?
192,000.
100.
92,000.
Okay. Do you know why there is no job certification?
No, I don't know.
Should the full amount have been paid?
Okay, I'm not also sure whether the payment is full or partly.
Please speak into the microphone.
I'm not also sure whether the payment is a full payment or a part payment.
Is there a contract?
Being cost of, I think it's full payment. That is dressing at the back of the dump site.
Yes.
It does not have a certification complete.
Do you know why?
No, I don't know.
You don't know.
But I expect it should be having.
It should have.
Yes.
But there's no, there's none. Go to the next one.
Yeah, this one half.
Okay. Let me have that one. So move to the next one.
This one also half.
Okay.
This one did not have.
Okay.
This one did not have.
Okay.
This one as well did not have.
Yes.
This one too did not have. This one has. This one also has. This one has. This one do not have. This one did not have.
Yes.
It's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. About 7 of them do not have. The
About
rest,
7.
Yeah, the rest have.
To start with, the issue of, so for the payments that were made without confirmation, would that not be against due process?
It depends on the circumstance and situation.
Okay.
So there are certain works they take longer. So according to them, how the process, the documentation is forwarded. So sometimes the process for approvals is faster than the actual work itself.
Yes.
So, but notwithstanding, the certification of the job, like I said earlier,
Yes.
the requesting department should satisfy.
Yes.
This has to be in collaboration with the procurement.
Yes. Should the Director of Finance not verify?
Of course, it too has to verify.
So payment cannot be,
Correct.
full payments cannot be made without.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And the audit also should not
Absolutely.
should not happen any voucher to pass
Yes.
without this.
So where full payments were made for any, this is just a sample, for any contract, you'll agree, for any contract without job certification, you'll agree that would not be in line with due process.
Not necessarily. Sometimes when the work is started, is completed, the requesting department is so busy and could not certify. sometimes certifying job is formality to some point for future purposes.
Yes.
But you can see that the work is completed. The problem that was there
But
is...
the people are employed in public service. So I can go and see that the job is done to me. But if I do not have documents, because the office should be there for posterity.
Yeah, that's the fact. The truth is, if the job is done, but the fact is, the certification is not attached.
Exactly.
So that's the difference between the truth and the fact.
Exactly. So how would anyone know, someone that is supposed to assess you, like a day like today, how would anyone verify whether the job was done or not?
Exactly. That's why sometimes there are photos being attached.
No.
Before the work and after the work.
No.
You can see mostly the audit are given camera.
Certification is what is required, not pictures. Certification.
Exactly.
That's one issue. But I want us to agree and to be on the same page. You had already said this initially, that there has to be job certification.
Correct.
Now, if there is no job certification, it means that there is no due process of payment.
That means that the due process is not completed.
Yes, we have to agree on that. The other issue is, Lankaramo had contracts that he signed, but in other instances as well, there will not be any contracts. In fact, in most instances, there will not be any contract signed. When it appears as if it was renewed, and any time it is given contract, that there was an automatic renewal without adhering to the rules. Do you know why? For instance, I have this payment made to Lankaramo Sware for $400,000 for the clearing of communal dump site, and there is a contract attached. Let me show you.
So this is a contract.
Yes, that's a contract. You confirm? What's the date?
This is the 12th of October 2018.
2018.
Yes.
Now, if
that was, I think, my first week in the office.
That it was?
Could be the first week in my office.
In your office?
As acting CEO.
Acting CEO, and you made sure that there was a contract.
Yes.
But subsequently, in subsequent years, even after you left office as CEO, you will see that he will be paid monies without contracts. And that contract only lasts for, is it a short period? What is the lifespan of that contract?
The last contract?
The lifespan, between which year? It starts, when will it start? When should it start? The duration of the contract.
My eyes, the writings are so small. It's already, this is from the 12th October to 2018 to the 12th. Is it say to November, at least almost to 11th of November 2018.
1 month?
Yeah, close to, yes.
Yes. But he had been given multiple contracts almost every month. So why was there the need to not give him contract subsequently, or have a framework agreement of any kind?
Like a service level agreement?
Yes.
Yes. So this, that's what we expect our procurement to help us. That's why we created them.
But the law is there.
Yeah, I'm telling you, the law is there, but certain people have responsibility.
Yes, but the contracts committee to have a burden. It says there should be people that are knowledgeable in procurement as well. You have the procurement unit, or the specialized procurement unit, and then you have the contracts committee here. And the law says those that are there must really have knowledge in procurement.
Yes, for me, I see more on procurement, because they are the technician. They should tell us, we will not be involved in this if at all it is at this. So, and we are advising you with this. If we refuse, they write to us that this is our stance. So that itself, because no CEO will risk where your technician, it's just like your driver who said, somebody said, I cannot drive a flight.
Yes.
If you want, you can join my flight, but nobody who loves his life will join that flight.
Because if the method adopted is RFQ, is request for quotation. Do you know what the process is in relation to RFQ?
Request for quotation?
Yes.
That is when above certain amount?
Yes, and then the minimum quotation you receive is 3?
Yes. It's all in the guideline, GPPA
And who
guideline.
should vet these 3? The procurement unit go and request for the quotation. Now who should go and vet the 3 quotation? The evaluation of the bid before you decide that you are going to give the contract to Lankara Maswari. Is the contracts committee?
When is at the contracts committee level?
Exactly.
They do the evaluation.
They should do the evaluation.
Yes. So the evaluation is based on both technical and financial.
Exactly. So they should do the evaluation.
But provided
that
that-
job to the players procurement unit, they go and collect vouchers or quotations, and they decide who to award. That is suicidal.
Yeah, exactly. That's why we are saying that's what our expectation. We create department, we create unit, we give responsibility. We expect people to do their.
But CEO, you sit at the contracts committee. That's the issue. Every CEO sits at the contracts committee.
Yes, you will see that all the issues that go to the contract committee are genuinely dealt with. Are genuinely.
I don't think so. I
think so.
Maybe your time.
Yeah,
you have a reason for that.
Yeah, my time.
For saying that.
Exactly.
But I don't think so. I think there are so many instances where the contracts committee did not do what they had to do. One of the cases is the procuring of the trucks. That was given, award was made, the evidence suggests, before the full procedure. And the procedure was just to ratify the actions. But we will get to that we will get to. You understand? But I'm just saying that if you neglect your responsibilities, what happens? So let me just show you. You put Lankara Maswari aside. We had dealt with that. Let me show you the ones for Nkoland. You know Nkoland?
I don't know them.
It's a company that was engaged in the in the repair of DA-D9, the bulldozers. You recall the repair of the DA-D9 bulldozer?
Yes, I do.
Why I didn't see you at the time.
Yes.
Let me show you the vouchers for.
But I do not know Nkoland.
Yes. So this. Yes. Please examine that voucher. I think there should be an exhibit number there. Do you see it? Is there a payment, an exhibit number written on the voucher?
Yeah, with a pen, yes.
What is the number?
LGC SN KMC /005.
Good. What is the description of the payment on the voucher?
Being final payment for cost of maintenance and transportation of bulldozer. D8 and D9.
How much is
85,000.
Yes. So please, do you have any contract attached to that payment? There should be 2 vouchers. Maybe you just confirm whether.
There's only one voucher.
There's only one voucher.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not seeing any contract there.
May I, there's no contract there.
I'm not seeing it.
May I please see the voucher? So there are 2 payments made. The contractor was paid about $1,060,000. It is in relation to the repair of DA-D9, the bulldozers. Do you recall this?
Yes, I think I made clarification that based on those vouchers, because the procurement brought to my attention in separate vouchers.
Yes.
With the expectation that these are separate works,
yes.
Separate piece of work.
Yes.
So there are 2 bulldozers involved.
Yes.
There is also another line of activity which is transportation.
Yes.
So somebody might say this is all together, but these are 3 separate transactions.
Yes. That I get. That's why I'm drawing attention to this. I'm just confirming that the amount that was paid to Nkoland was $1,060,000. even though the issue is two vouchers were raised, we had already discussed this earlier, before. The point is whether contracts awarded were signed with the contractor. It's $1,060,000. Was there any contract? Do you know?
No, I'm not aware. I'm not aware. I did not see any.
You not?
I'm not aware of the contract.
Why is that? Is there any reason?
No, probably could be oversighted.
An oversight?
Yes.
Was there any job completion to certify whether the bulldozers were successfully repaired?
Yes, this has to come, I do not see that, but it has to come from the department, the requesting department.
And who is the requesting department?
Is the services, those who request for the work.
Yes. So, have you received that?
They have not forwarded that one. So the requesting department has to verify.
So if you don't have a contract and you don't have a job completion, where would the full payment be paid? Is there any reason?
This is what I'm saying. If the payment is done, the users of that service has to certify whether they are happy or not, whether it is done or not.
Yes.
So that is at the users department's level, as well as the procurement.
And the CEO should verify that they see the certificate before they authorize full payment. That's my only issue, and the director of finance too as well.
Yeah, before payment, sometimes before payment you cannot certify the work because it's not completed.
Yes.
Mostly, sometimes payment happen and the process is done. Because
that would be putting the cart before the horse. That would be wrong.
Because some suppliers cannot do work when they don't have money or when they have problems. I don't know, but it could be. It could be when they have problems.
Part of the evaluation. Do you know their financial status, their technical capability?
But sometimes you might not know what the problems they have. By the time you are evaluating, they could be liquid. But immediately after the evaluation, if at all you are, they could also run into some challenges.
Payment should be done after job is completed, especially full payment should be done after job is completed. At any given point in time, even if you are to put the cart for the horse, you have to make sure.
Generally, in the culture of Gambia, it's not all work that is fully paid before work starts. Sometimes you start by paying in percentages.
Yes.
Sometimes, if you have hope that he can do this job.
Now let me ask you: do you know whether those bulldozers were at any point in time successfully repaired?
Of course, I fully remember that the D9 was operational and was doing work after
After the
yes. In fact, when they took the bulldozer was even requested from us to go and do certain job.
The mechanic said no.
Yeah, that is his point. But
yes,
to my level, that is his opinion.
No, we will probably only get your evidence and act on it if you have a certificate. The mechanic is responsible for these machines.
In fact, the driver, maybe if you contact those people at the ground, the D9 was working for some time. But for the D8, it started work, but we were told that it was having some heat. So I don't know what's the problem.
You see, Mr. Cham,
yeah.
I'm now asking you, between you, the CEO or the administration, and the mechanic, at face value, if you are to give oral evidence and you just testify that you are saying the machines were perfect, they were working in good condition after the repair. We spent 1 million plus, but they were functional afterwards. The mechanic is saying no, it did not work after the repair. You don't have a certificate to say this is a job completion certificate to show that it was perfectly working, the department is satisfied with it. Who should we believe?
You should believe me, because the mechanic that is alleged to be a mechanic did not maintenance that bulldozer.
But the law says you have to have a certificate.
No, I'm coming. The guy who maintains that that bulldozer is not the maintenance guy who said it's not working. Okay. Because if at all he is good enough, he would have maintenance that we wouldn't have procured order.
I will come to that.
Yes.
But the law says for you to be believed by anybody, in this case the commission, you have to produce. But once you produce the certificate, do you see any further question on that?
Yeah, that's why I agree. I personally saw D9 working. In fact,
my point is, for the ones you have identified job certification report, Have you heard me ask you any further question on this?
No, not at all. Yes.
Because even if I believe that this is a fabrication, but it's a legal document. Do you understand? And it shows that the department is satisfied that the job was done. And there will not be any further question on these payments regarding job completion. But for the ones that there are no job certificate completion.
Yeah, that this could have been an oversight, I told you, because the people who request for this work are the people on the ground. They are the field. So if they should come, that they should bring the certification that is okay or it's not okay. So in an instant that it is not confirmed or then there is a shadow of doubt that where nobody can say it's not working because the mechanic himself.
No, we need to know. We don't want to dwell on the fact that because someone said it's not working, so we believe. No, we are not interested on the fact that someone said it's not working. We are interested to establish the fact that in fact it is working.
Yeah, it was working.
So in establishing that the law says you must have a
that's the law.
certificate. In the absence of a certificate, we have no other option, even without evidence from anyone to say it is not working. There is no certificate.
Yes.
Which suggests that there is no work that's done.
That's the fact. But yes, the truth is it was.
The truth outside the commission. So we'll move on other issues as well. So you did not know that payments were done to Kan Mustafa Kanyi withdrew these monies from the account?
Exactly. In fact, I was surprised even at the investigations level, because I don't know suppliers, I don't even look at their names, I don't know whether they have told or they don't. So I expect the team to know. It was even strange for me to pay for us to approve a payment to a supplier and somebody has access to that. Then he is the guy that can explain that. I don't know. I beg your pardon?
You were saying something. Please.
Are you getting me?
You were saying something. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's why I said I was surprised how Kan Mustafa has access to somebody's account.
Because the contracts committee did not sanction this payment. A payment of more than $1 million.
Well, maybe it might not be that.
No, but if you had followed due process, I mean the procurement organization, you sit over this as a contracts committee, this would not have happened.
Probably.
Yes, no, it's not a probability. It would not have happened if people do their job. I say that because then you would have properly evaluated all the bits that are before you. As a contracts committee, you would have known whether you further need to verify some of the information that are put in this.
Probably, you cannot predict human nature.
But we know Kan Mustafa Kanyi.
I don't know him that way.
No, what I mean, we know he is influential in KMC.
You know?
Yes. And so the idea, he wrote a letter. Let me show you one of the letters he wrote in response to a suspension. Kan Mustafa Kanyi. He was at some point suspended, I believe by Demboja. You understand that? Do you recall this?
I think his suspension did not meet me in town, but I was told.
You were told?
Yes.
But he sat where you were sitting. He said he never went on suspension, even with the formal suspension. That never took place, that never took effect. And he wrote a very, very condescending letter. I don't know whether that's the right word to use.
I was also told about that.
You were told about that?
Yes.
Yes. But it tells you about the person. It tells you about how the influence he has. Everyone, it's a fact. Everyone is listening. Those who work for KMC and those who know Kan Mustafa Kanjura, they know clearly, without any iota of doubt, Mr. Cham, and you know what I am saying, that Mr. Kan Mustafa Kanyi is highly influential. That is a fact. I will, when the register comes with the letters, I will show you, and you will be shocked to see even the language that he uses. No one dares do that. So let me show you the other vouchers before we have those letters. one, payments also made to AMCC. Were there any payments made to AMC during your time?
I think so. I think so. Let me see. This one is not my time.
Through it and tell me whether there is any voucher that is
Oh, okay.
paid.
Okay. Okay. Council, none of this.
It's your time. I'll see you.
Yes.
All right, just put it aside. Let me give you the voucher. You have said the issue of Mustafa Kani. I have a request here where he was demanding payment. Before the letter, let me just show you just to put to bed the issue of the PAD9. That is a letter that was written by Mr. Khan. Do you see the letter?
Yes.
Can you please read the letter regarding the request for payment?
Yes. I've seen the letter.
Read the letter, please.
He said, I write to request for payment of 50% of labor cost, being part payment for cost of maintenance of D9 bulldozer at the backwater dump site and D8.
Yes.
However, this is the first complete overhaul after it has got removed from the ditch. Moreover, this service was assigned to the supplier because they are more reasonable and are specializing in maintenance of heavy duty machine. Your timely approval is highly solicited.
Did the contracts committee, number one, did the contracts committee evaluate the bid to see whether the service provider is specialized in the area as mentioned or stated by Mustafa Kani?
Yeah, for me, how I see this is the procurement. That should, because I know.
No, I have read the law. The law says the contracts committee would have to do the evaluation. The procurement unit collects the quotations, the invoices, but the evaluation is done by the contracts committee.
Yeah, but this was not taken to the contract committee because it was below the threshold. The quotation was collected by the procurement.
The entire payment is $1 million, $1,060,000.
When you add all the...
Yes, because it's for the repair of D9. No matter how it is, you split it. In fact, that you have detected earlier to say no, this is one transaction, why are you splitting the payments?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I do not detect that if you add all, it will add to this. But I was given a voucher at a time. So my expectation that these different vouchers are for different transactions involving different maintenances.
Even if it is single sourced, the law says it has to go to the contracts committee. That's my point.
And
my point is still back to where we are discussing.
This was a council resolution that the CEO has a threshold limit of 500,000.
We will want to see that resolution as well.
Yeah, I think this happened not even our time. This is what has been happening in council as a culture.
Do you have the resolution?
I can find out. I'm not sure, but
we will
this.
still need the resolution. We will need the resolution. Just please get it down. Did the resolution say that you have to make decisions without going to the contracts committee?
I mean the limit of 500,000.
That is the expenditure.
Yeah, that you can.
That is the threshold for expenditure.
That you can spend.
So when you sign a voucher to authorize expenditure, you have your threshold. That is different from procurement.
It's an expenditure.
Yeah, it's an expenditure.
Procurement is an expenditure.
Yes, I agree. But I'm saying is you have to understand procurement to know that what the threshold is saying is different from procurement. It's saying that as at the time payment is to be made of any kind. Of any kind. Do you understand that? If, for instance, you have procured through a supplier a certain amount of goods worth, let's say, $500,000, you as a CEO would have been given authority by the council to say up to $500,000 you can authorize payment, not approve procurement. Procurement is a process. Before you have payment, you must have in fact decided whether you would award a contract to a supplier or contractor or not. That process is what starts from the procurement unit or the specialized procurement unit all the way to the contracts committee. Once the contracts committee approves,
So,
then...
But Council, I think you should understand, the CEO's approval is based on the procurement's endorsement. So these two cannot be separated. It cannot be separated.
Let's move. Probably, I think the commission understand what I'm trying to say. But if you look at the all these demands were made by Kan Mustafa Kanyi for payment, is that a normal procedure? Should Kan Mustafa Kanyi be making demands for payment as an employee or staff of council for contracts that are to be paid to another contractor?
Well, at what time was this? And
no, you had just read the letter that he requested for 50% payment. Here, I already given to you.
At that time he was working for council on contract.
Yes, but if he is not the supplier or he's not the contractor, who should demand for payment? Is it not the contractor?
I do not know how he managed that, but...
You don't know how?
I said I do not know how he managed that, but he wrote it. The evidence is there, he requested for it.
Exactly, but that's my point, and payment was made. But you have a contractor, you have Nkolan, who is said to be the contractor, and payment, he should be the one to make requests for payment. Is that not the case?
That should have been the idea. So I don't know how because the procurement did not collect his quotation.
No, Mr. Cham, you...
No, I'm coming. You will understand. Sometimes the way it is,
yes.
Because if you approved a supplier,
yes,
and the supplier's account his name is there,
yes,
and you pay to somebody's account, the
yes,
supplier's account,
yes,
and somebody, some reason happened to get money from that account. It's strange to me.
Is there an assessment done, a professional assessment to know, in fact, what was really wrong with the vehicle, with the D8D9, to know exactly what you are paying for? Let's not forget about the...
Yeah, that's where that mechanic who said, the council internal mechanic, because we know, I know personally, as a layman, the bulldozer went into water for some months. So it was pulled out, it was not working. So the layman's assessment that you cannot put
Now let me ask you, what was wrong with the D89?
D9 or both of them?
Both of them.
So the D9, the D8 went into, I think, I'm not sure which the one that went into the water,
yes,
but one of them went to water for some months, and there were some corrosion and water entered.
Yes.
So, but the other one was working and had just a technical problem.
What technical problem?
It could not, I'm not sure. I don't know about that.
This is exactly what I want us to understand.
But it was not up and running.
So what was the problem? You paid 1,060,000 as council. What were you paying for?
So that's why you are looking at the global point.
No.
I, as an approving authority, I'm not seeing it that way.
Let me help you,
so
Mr.
Let me clarify. Let me clarify.
Go ahead.
Because we were working on this as per machine.
Yes.
As per machine.
Yes.
Not as all of them put together.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
If at all we wanted to work on all of them together, we would have taken it to the contract committee.
Yes. Let me now
so,
show
but
you
the time the D9, the other machine was in water, the other one was working.
Yes. That is not my point. My point is, let me now show you the invoices. I want to know whether council, you had really had a report to say that is exactly what is wrong with the 89 and this is what we are paying for. Let me show you one invoice where you have, for instance, a pro forma invoice from Genuine Spare Parts Shop. You know, these are the conditions that they are said to have been received, for instance, right?
With regards to the machine?
Yes, with regards to the machine. But you can verify, you can make the verification.
Yeah, that's why I say when it comes to suppliers, I don't know them. I never meet them. So
I know, we have already discussed that. I am now saying that whether you know as council, where there was verification done to know what was exactly wrong with the machines. There had to be a report. There had to be a mechanical report to say the part of the engine is faulty. The exact part that was faulty. You have to know that. So that's what you will send a request for quotation for. And the people that or the suppliers that have expertise in these areas, they will now tell you that they have this XYZ part and they can fix it, and how they will fix it, and what it will cost. So you can check the entire voucher and see whether, going by the invoice or the quotations you have received, where they are tabled how much every part will cost, whether you have a report to indicate that those were the parts that were faulty. Do you understand my point?
yeah, for the fact that the space, this, though I do not look at this in detail,
yes,
but the fact that it is mentioned that this need to be replaced, the assumption is these are the ones that are faulty.
Assumption. Should we?
At my end.
Yes, I'm saying, but should you operate based on assumption? Should you commit funds, public funds? Anyone, should they commit public funds based on assumption?
You know, if you are not a technician,
yes,
even the in-house mechanic that we have, his expertise is not on bulldozer.
So now,
he has no expertise.
Let's say yes. Let's just say yes. Now, why would you commit funds? Why would council commit funds when they cannot know exactly what is wrong with D89? There is no technician report or professional report or expert opinion report that will tell you exactly what is wrong with D89. Why would you? Who determines how much should be spent?
The fact of the matter is, the procurement should have brought us someone who is competent and knows this.
If they didn't do that,
so what I know as my and as a CEO, I personally verified because
let me just help you there. If the procurement is to do that and they didn't do that, and you know they should do that, what should you do as CEO?
I was thinking that that's what they have done. So that's why I said this was an oversight. My expectation that they have done.
But you accept that job and the assessment was not done and it ought to have been done.
There was an assessment. I did not see assessment report. The assessment was done because the vehicle.
Was there an assessment report?
I didn't see it. But there was an assessment
report.
That is the documentary fact. I did not see that one.
Okay, thank you very much.
But the assessment was done.
Thank you very much.
I believe it's a convenient point to stop. Counsel, are you done with the witness? Or
We have witness before.
We'll come back, Mr. Chair,
CEO.
we'll come back after break and finish up with you. We may rise.
Muila mbele kakala billahi jine tiyata ulu nini mankuya zakara kunza